How do we import a 3D file in Blender, such as an STL, and resize it into a precise size using millimeters? First of all, we need to set up Blender to use millimeters. I'm in Blender, we look to the right, and we must be on the Properties Editor. Within the Properties Editor, we have a number of tabs. I want the Scene tab. Tab looks like a cone and sphere, and we will have a number of drop downs in here. We want the units. In here, we change the unit system to metric, and looking down the length, we need to change that to millimeters, and also the unit scale, we need to change to 0.001. Once we click off, we see our scale changes, and from now on, all dimensions, including imported objects, will display in millimeters. Now you notice our grid has vanished, so that's rescaled as well. So if we want to adjust that, we come up to the top, we're looking for the viewport overlays. This one here. If I drop this down, we have the scale within. And we just change this to match the 0.001. And then when we click off, everything is back to normal. Once you've changed your scene settings, then you may want to save this as a default. To do that, come up to File, come down to Defaults, and Save Startup File. And that makes the current file the default startup file. Now we can import the STL file. To do that, let's come up to File, Import, and pick STL. Locate your STL and select it. On the right hand side, you can see that the scale is set to 1, and we can select the scene unit. This means that the STL will be imported in the default size it was built in. So it could be in scale. I'm not going to select that for this tutorial. I'm just going to hit Import STL. Let's select the cube as we don't need it and hit delete. We have our STL and I can select it, and now I can look at resizing. To do that, we must be in object mode. We need to access the sidebar from the arrow in the top right, or we can hit N on the keyboard to toggle whether it's open or not. And on the right hand side, we can see the dimensions. Changing these dimensions will resize the STL. So at the moment, it's 3.4 millimeters. If I set this to say 20 millimeters, you'll notice that the Y and Z won't change. You have to change these independently. Now you want to keep these in scale, so the best idea is to look at the scale. We've changed it along the X. So the scale here is 5.7. So we just take that, hit Control C, and then click on the Y, Control V to paste, and move our way down, pasting those across the scale, and we get our scaled STL. After resizing, we need to apply the scale so that Blender updates the mesh to match the new dimensions. This ensures that modifiers, simulations, and exports work correctly. To do this, go up to Object and come down to Apply. Within, you'll find Scale. We select that, and if we look to the right, our scale has changed, and it's been reset back to 1, and our model has stayed the same size. We can now work with the object in Blender or export it for 3D printing. I hope that video was of interest, and I look forward to seeing you in the next one. If you enjoy these videos and you would like to support the channel, then you can do so via my Ko-Fi page. That's at ko-fi.com/MJ3D Any donations will be used to help to expand the channel. I'd like to thank you all for watching, and I hope to see you again soon.